Hello and welcome back to Catch and Cook California. I'm Kevin, and today I'm joined by Diane. We're headed up to the mountains. We're going to look for morel mushrooms, and then we're going to do a little trout fishing, a little foraging for some wild onions, and we're going to cook up one heck of a feast. Join us. We're off for another hike. There's a burn right here. We found some wild onions. You can tell the air is thin. So there's a feral wild onion that grows around the cities and such, but that's just kind of like an escapee. But then there's wild onions that truly are native, that live way out in the woods, sometimes up in the mountains like here, and then sometimes down on the coast. And so I just found 2 of them. I think I'm going to take 1, and then we'll keep looking for more, right? Ooh, there's more right there, right there. That right there, it's a wild onion. You can see the little purple flower starting to form here. So let's dig this thing up. Yep. Boom, boom. Check them out. Should probably make like a digging stick of some type. So one of the things you want to do when you come for these is you kind of want to dig in from the side and be real sensitive around the actual bulb itself. And then remember that they have little bulblets, little small ones that'll form on the sides. Go on, Moach. You're going to be panting and killing the audio. Here, go get this thing. Go get that. No? What's this? Go get that. Good girl. So they got little cormlets on the sides here. Not cormlets, little bulblets. And you'll see these little baby green onions, and so we're going to leave the baby. We're just going to take the mature green onion. We'll replant these guys. And typically when you find one, you'll find more. So if you are in the right area to find one, then typically you run into a few more. And again, beautiful little bulb. This one's got a longer flower that's about to form, and there's that distinct purple down in between the leaves as well. And crush it. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna replant some of these babies. What do you think, Moach? She's like, man, it's a hot day up in the mountains. Beautiful country up here, huh? Anyway, I haven't seen a single morel yet, but I've already found, I don't know, 6, 8, something like that, wild onions. Those are the ones I picked. I've actually found probably like 18, 20 of them, and I'm just picking 1 or 2 here and there, leaving the other ones, and replanting the babies. Keep it sustainable. But I'll tell you what, the 6 or 8 I've got in my bag, I think that's going to be plenty to do something pretty cool tonight. Or maybe tomorrow. We might pair it with fish if we catch trout. If we do find these mushrooms we're looking for, then we might pair it with some mushrooms. We're going to keep looking for these crazy elusive mushrooms. I'll tell you, I have mushroom hunted for years. I have found a ton of different species of delicious edible ones. And the morel, it's one of the only ones I have never found in the mountains. But since I haven't been seeing them yet, and then I started seeing wild onions, I was like, I'm switching gears, grab the wild onions, and then if we end up switching spots and there are no wild onions but we find mushrooms, then at least I gathered them while I could. So call that opportunistic foraging. Diane says she just found 2 morels. Hell yeah, baby. Oh. Those are beautiful. Yes. Yes.
Yes. That's pretty cool that I was like, oh, there's only 2. And you were like, no, there's 4.
Yeah, they are really, really hard to see. That's definitely way harder to see than a black trumpet, and that is a very hard to see mushroom. That right there is Mother Nature's refrigerator. Ice cold water, cold beer, cold bubbly water, cold bacon. So the idea with the char cloth is you got a hole in the top of a tin, and you've got whatever tinder is in there. It can be cloth, like a cotton t-shirt fragment or something like that, or it can be a natural tinder. You could also use punk wood, which is like decomposing wood, so it's real soft, rotten wood. You can use the pith from an elder tree. There's a bunch of different natural tenders that work pretty well. But you basically put it in the coals, and you watch the smoke come out of the central hole in the middle of that tin. Just before it starts to stop smoking, I'm going to plug that hole with a stick. So there you go, plug the hole. So now it's cooled, removing that stick. The stick just plugs the last little bit of oxygen, and it keeps the oxygen from getting in there and from stuff burning. We want it to char, to smolder, but we don't want it to burn completely. That way it'll still catch a spark and it can still burn a little bit. Unscrew this bad boy. Oh ho ho! That right there is perfect char cloth. Look at that. Oh man. So this will be, there's very little brown. It's all black. It's going to be really brittle, but nice and flexible. So this is going to be perfect for our flint and steel. I'm just going to take some conifer needles, give it a wipe down. That's so cool. When you're having a campfire out in National Forest, you're required to have a campfire permit, and part of the regulations that are required is that you have a shovel and some water, and you actually clear the ground in a 10-foot radius, so about 5 feet from every edge of the fire. When you're done with the fire, you need to dump a bunch of water on it, but you also need to stir the coals. You may have to dump water and stir it a few times, and then you're actually going to feel with your hand to see if there's any hot spots. And if there are still hot spots, get more water on there. Make sure it's completely cold before you leave. Otherwise, if the wind picks up, throw some of this pine duff on here. That's enough to rekindle the fire. You may be 3 days gone and it can pop back up as a fire. Another thing I'd like to note that they don't really mention so much is if you're digging down into a hearth, like to make a hearth for your fire, make sure you don't have any big roots that are coming in from the neighboring trees, because if you have a dead root in there, that can actually light and slowly burn, and then it'll pop up 3 days later and you've got a brush fire. So just be really, really conscious and make sure you put out your fires. That way we can keep using our own public land. And I'll probably do this 2 or 3 times just to be positive. Give it a good stir. We ran out of ice, but we knew we were going to come up to near the snow line up here, so we're going to replenish our refrigerator. We're just going to pack this pot about halfway full of snow. That way we can put our bacon and a few other perishables in there. Keep it in the shade and it'll stay refrigerated. What was that?
No skunk. Brown gold.
I think that's our strategy, is we just like walk around, look a lot, and then we're like, ah, forget it, and then we find them. Beautiful.
That one got the tip.
Yeah, something's eating the tip, huh? Interesting. Still looks like it's in good shape though. Here we go. Very, very first morel ever. So stoked. Look at that. Whoop, don't knock over the other ones, pup. We got 2 here. Boom. Boom. So stoked. Diane's like, there's another one. I'm like, I literally cannot see it. She's like, it's the angle. Yes, it is. Beautiful. Bam. That is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Are we happy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No skunk.
No skunk.
I found a big one.
From the car?
Yeah.
Okay, go get it, baby. Oh, baby. Are we happy? Oh, babe, that's so awesome.
It was just one by itself.
Or was it? Let's go back and look. Oh my God. How beautiful are those? They're so cool.
Go that way? There's more burn.
Sure. That's the second black bear path we've come across so far today. So we want to make a decent amount of noise because this is the spring. So this is when the mamas are traveling around with their cubs. We don't want to sneak up on them. These big boulders, these are all transported by glaciers. How awesome is that? This is an old glacial field. Boom! Big old glaciers coming through and bringing all this along. That right there is your classic example of a freeze-thaw cycle. The moisture inside the rock, when it freezes, it expands and then boom! Spalls off a big old piece of that boulder. Alright, so we were just about to give up once again, turn around, and then I was like, wait, what is that weird little bump down there? Wouldn't that be funny if it was a morel? It sure is. Another one right here. They're just little babies, but now we got to poke around a little more because there's definitely other mushroom types growing in here. See if we can find some more. Another one that we walked right past before. Alright guys, we keep just giving up. We're like, oh, grab the fishing rods, let's go fishing. We're walking down this road, we see some false morels and we're like, wow, maybe there could be other stuff. It's not morels, but there's 2 beautiful mountain puffballs right here. Check these out. These are also edible. There's one right there, and an even bigger one right here. So just kind of pry it on out of the ground. Cool little like geometric patterns. And then you'll know it's a puffball for sure when you cut it in half. It's going to be homogeneous or the same texture all the way through. And it shouldn't have any yellow. If it has yellow, we have to throw it away. That's perfect. So there's no gills in here. There's no like juvenile or forming like stem and gills and a cap, anything like that. That's just homogeneous like tofu all the way throughout the middle. So we'll take that home and we'll eat it. You ready to go fishing? Yeah. Nice. Check this out, guys. Look at this gorgeous creek going through. Beautiful meadow all around. Super cute dog. Beautiful girlfriend. Going fishing. Mochi keeps jumping in every pool that looks good. If it's like deep enough, I'm like, ooh, there could be a fish in there. She's like, ooh, that's a good place to take a bath. And then she's doing donuts to warm up. It's pretty funny. Are
you having fun, Moach? Got some sunscreen in my eye, but anyway, I just had a fish rise up and almost grab it. Then Mochi decided to go for a swim. Spooked it. But that means there's fish in here. We were just leaving. This is how this trip has been. You know, like the camera was not on. We're just leaving. Now we got a fish. So now we got to cook up some mushrooms, fish, and wild onions. Let me dispatch this beautiful trout. It's like 100 yards from the car.
You have a good time? That was a very successful weekend going for morels. Got some really nice ones in here. And then we also got that beautiful big puffball. Wow, that was fun. So we were not anticipating that. It was years and years coming. We finally got our first morels. So Diane made this absolutely beautiful homemade pasta. What do you call that one?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, we totally winged it. I remember like there was a specific name. I don't know what it is, but it looks amazing. Then we cooked up the trout with the wild green onions, spring onions. First time eating morels?
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
Did you have the mushroom?
No. That's just the pasta. Yeah? Alright. Morels.
That's really good.
Dude.
It reminds me of something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really yummy.
Yeah. It's like a... almost like the meatiness of a chanterelle. Sort of a black trumpety kind of flavor. But it's its own thing. Super good.
I feel like I've had it, but...
You probably have. It's a pretty popular one.
Really?
Yeah, very popular except for in the woods. If it is popular, I couldn't find them.
Did you eat the fish yet?
Oh man, no, I'm still loving the pasta. Yeah. All right, try the fish.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay. Try the fish. Oh yeah. I'm gonna get some of these wild green onions. Just the little ones. Oh man. It tastes like a garlic, like a caramelized garlic. Or a shallot or something.
I feel like it doesn't necessarily taste like our regular green onions.
No, it's definitely not like regular green onions. I ate a little bit raw when I was throwing it in the pan, and it like had a much more of a spiciness to it. kind of like garlic, but then there was like a little bit of a bitterness, so I didn't, like as I was throwing them in, I'm like, I hope this doesn't make it all bitter. There's no bitterness at all in the cooked stuff. It's really pleasant. That's awesome.
Very yummy.
And the salad, because it's like 105 today. Nice cold salad. That vinaigrette is so good. A little avocado in there.
You got it from your mom.
The recipe? My mom's recipe. Well, damn, Mom, that's really good. Well, we were gonna try and do this cooking out in the woods, but we were like spending all of our time trying to get these mushrooms. I think we left the woods at like 5 o'clock, so there was just no chance we were gonna be able to cook that and then come back. So this is better. Nice and relaxing. Next day, absolutely fantastic.
We wouldn't have been able to make the, well, maybe we would have, but.
To make the pasta in the woods. We could do it another time, but that's almost like I mean, it's like a 3-hour
like camping.
thing. Yeah. Oh, this is so good. Dude, the combo, the chewiness of this amazing pasta, and then with the texture and flavor of the mushroom, and the infusion of the sage and the butter and the mushroom in there. It's such a winning combo. I'm extremely happy. And I'm totally digging the fish too.
The fish completes this meal.
Yeah, dude, the skin on the fish. So stoked.
I really like the trout.
It's really good. Trout with the green onion, with the spring onion. Dude, every part of this is so good. Alright guys, we're just going to clean these plates. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and until next time, keep the old ways alive. Take the spark really well. She just hit me in the back with a freaking snowball. Baby, you got comeuppance in order. And she didn't get the reaction she's looking for, so I'm gonna get her now.